Hello everybody. Today I'm going to show you how to use find package to link against the foo library. To do that, we're going to need another package. So I'm going to create a package called bar. Inside the bar folder, we're going to need two files. We'll need a main.cpp file and a CMake list.txt file. Now inside the main.cpp file, we're going to include the foo library. And from the foo library, we're going to need the hello.h file. And now we'll create our main function. And inside main, we're just going to call the hello function. Okay, save that. And we can exit. Now we need to write the CMake list.txt file. So open that. And we'll start this file with the CMake minimum required command. And I'm going to use version 3.5. Now we need to give the project a name with the project command. And we'll also need to create an executable with the add executable command. The add executable command takes the name of the executable as well as the source files. In this case, the source files will just be main.cpp. And now we need to use the find package command. The package we're trying to find is the foo package. And the foo package is going to be required. Required just means that if the foo package can't be found, find package will throw an error. The find package command has two modes. There's module mode and config mode. Module mode uses something called a find module to find the package. The find module has to be located in a directory that is pointed to by the CMake module path variable. When find package is executed, it looks inside the CMake module path variable for a find module for the foo library, and when it finds it, it executes the code inside the module. And typically that will populate some variables, which can then be used to link against the foo library. Today we're not going to be using module mode. Today we're going to be using config mode. The way config mode works is a config file is provided by the foo package, and when find package is executed, find package will go locate the config file inside of the foo package and execute the code. The code will typically generate a target. Okay, and now all we have to do is link against the foo package. We do that with the target link libraries command. So we're going to link the bar executable against the foo target. Foo : is a namespace. We'll talk about that later. Go ahead and save it. And now we can close the text editor. Okay, let's open up CMake. Copy this path. And we need to point CMake at the bar package. So we'll go ahead and paste the path in here. And we'll paste it in here as well. Except here we're going to type /build /GCC /debug. Okay. Okay, so now if we click on configure, click yes. I'm going to use the code blocks minjw makefiles generator. Click finish. Okay, we get an error. But before we talk about that, I want to change the CMake build type to debug, since we're in the debug folder. Okay, so this part of the error is complaining about the findFoo.cmake file. That is the module file for module mode. Since we're not using module mode, I don't need to worry about that. And this right here is complaining because CMake can't find the config file. We are using config mode, so this is a problem for us. What we need to do is we need to create one of these files, either foo-config.cmake or foo-config.cmake. One or the other, but not both. Okay, so let's do that now. Inside of the foo package, we're going to create a folder called CMake. And inside of the CMake folder, we're going to create a file called foo-config.cmake.in. Now we need to go to the parent directory, and then go to foo, and we need to open up the cmakelist.txt file. This is the file where we created the foo target. Scroll to the bottom, and now we're going to use the configure file command. The configure file command takes an input and an output. The input is going to be the file we just created. The foo source dir variable points to foo's source directory, which is this right here. From there, we need to go into the CMake folder. So we'll do /CMake. And then we just need the file, which is foo-config.cmake.in. And we also need the output file. Foo binary dir points to foo's build directory, which is going to be in foo's source code directory. And then in the build directory, GCC debug. So this is foo's binary directory. I'm going to create a variable for foo's config directory because we're going to be referencing it several times. The config directory is going to be the lib directory /CMake / the name of our project. So we're going to use the project name variable. And we'll just add that to the end here. And the output file is just going to be this file minus the .in. Okay, now that that's done, we can go ahead and save it. And let's open up CMake. Now we have two instances of the CMake GUI. We need one to point at the bar package, and we need the other to point at the foo package. Okay, click Configure and Generate. Now if we did that correctly, when we go inside foo's build directory, and then we go to foo's config directory, which is lib CMake foo, we should see the foo config.cmake file. Okay, now if we run the configure command, you'll see nothing has changed. CMake is looking for this file in the installation directory, so we need to install it. Okay, so go back to the foo directory and open up the cmakelist.txt file. And right here at the bottom, we're going to add an install command. And we're going to install this fooconfig.cmake file. And we're going to install that file in destination. fooconfig.dir. So let's just copy that. Okay. Let's go ahead and save that. And close that. And now we need to rebuild foo. So let's go to Configure, Generate. But this time we need to install foo. So we're going to have to open up a command prompt. So go to the Start menu and just type command prompt. And we'll want to open that as the administrator. And we need to go back to foo's build directory, copy the path, and then we'll just use the cd command to cd into the build directory. Now to build foo, we just need to type mingw32-make. And now to install foo, we just type mingw32-make install. And as you can see, our files were installed. Now if we go to the C drive, Program Files x86, we can see that the foo library is here. And we have our include directory, our source directory, and our lib directory. And inside the lib directory, we have the CMake directory, the foo directory, and fooconfig.cmake. And if we go back to the instance of CMake that's pointing to the bar package, and we click configure, you notice we no longer get an error. If we look up the variable CMake install prefix, we can see that CMake is installing our packages in C program files x86. So when we call the find package command, CMake is going to go to the program files x86 directory. It's going to look for a package called foo. And from there are some predetermined places where CMake is going to look for a fooconfig.cmake file. One of those locations is the lib directory, the CMake directory, and the foo directory. And there it is. Okay. Now when we click on configure, everything works fine, but if we click generate, we get an error. The reason why is if we go back to the C drive, we go to the foo package, this fooconfig.cmake file is empty. This file is supposed to create the foo target, but we haven't done that yet. So let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, let's go back to the foo package and the foo directory. And we'll open up this cmakelist.txt file. And we'll go to the top of the page. And now we're going to use the install command to install the foo target. However, this time we also need to create an export. And I'm going to use a variable for this. Here we're installing the foo target, and here we're associating the foo target with the export file foo-exports. Okay, now scroll down to the bottom. And now we need to install our export. So we'll say install export. When we install an export, it's going to generate a file which is going to be foo-exports.cmake in this case. And what CMake is going to do is it's going to take all of the data from all of the targets associated with the export, and it's going to dump all that data into a file in such a way that if we include that file, those targets will be recreated. Okay, we also need to specify a destination. And that's going to be foo config directory. And we need to specify a namespace as well. And that's going to be foo:::. The way namespaces work is foo::: will be added to all of the names of the exported targets. Okay, let's save that. And we'll open up CMake again. This is the instance of CMake that points to the foo package. We'll do configure, generate. We'll open up the command prompt. The command prompt should still point to foo's build directory. And now we're just going to type mingw32-make and mingw32-make install. And as you can see, we've installed the DLL file as well as the foo-exports file. And if we go to the C drive, program files x86, foo, lib, CMake, foo, we can see we now have 3 files in here. This is the config file, and this is the export file. Now remember, the config file needs to create the foo::: foo target, and the export file contains all of the code necessary to create the foo::: foo target. So all this file has to do is include the export file. Okay, let's go back to the foo package. And we're going to go to the CMake folder. And we're going to open up this fooconfig.cmake.in file. Now all this file has to do is include the export file. So we'll do include. Now remember, this file is going to be processed by CMake's configure file command. When the configure file command sees a variable surrounded by these symbols, it will take this entire string and replace it with the value of the variable. Now CMake install prefix is going to point to the C drive. Program files x86 and the foo directory. Now from there, we're going to use another variable, which is going to be foo config dir. Foo config dir is the lib directory, the CMake directory, foo, and once we're in here, we just need to include the foo-exports.cmake file. Okay, that's all we need to do, so go ahead and save that. Now we're going to use the instance of CMake that points to the foo package, and we're going to hit the configure button, generate. Now we're going to rebuild the foo package with mingw32-make. And then we need to install the foo package with mingw32-make install. Okay, so let's go back to the C drive. Program files x86, foo, lib, CMake, foo. Let's open this up. And now you can see we have this include statement here. Now if we did that right, and we open up the instance of CMake that points to the bar package, and we click the configure button, and then the generate button, we shouldn't get any errors anymore. Now we can go to the bar package and go to the build directory, gcc, debug. At the top, we're going to type cmd. That will open up a command prompt. And now we can just type mingw32-make. As you can see, the bar package compiled correctly. But if we run it, you'll notice we get an error. Okay, so let's go back to the C drive. Program files x86, foo, and this time we're going to go into the bin directory, and we're going to copy this DLL file. And then we'll just paste that in. And if we run that again, we get hello world. Okay, everybody, that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.